Good morning everybody and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. Let me just show you where I am because it's the place is shrouded in fog, but the fog's only just starting to lift and I'm not sure if you can see that in the background, but I'm at Fitzroy Falls. Fitzroy Falls, which is between Bowral and Kiama, Nara, and I've been coming here for years, but I must admit I haven't been here for the last maybe, I don't know, 20 years. So there's a lot of new development here in terms of the park. They've put in some extra trees, or not extra trees, some extra tracks, and it's a $4 ticket to come down here and check out the falls. But I remember coming here maybe 30 years ago with my kids when they were young, and all it would be bush track and nobody to be seen anywhere. And you could walk to wherever you wanted to, and you could sit on top of those waterfalls. You could sit on the rocks at the top of those waterfalls. But now everything's been boarded off. There are fences everywhere, and just like everything in our lives, we've become prisoners. Yes, for our safety, but on the other hand, it's made things, I guess, more accessible to most people, but less interesting to those who knew it as it was. I'll try and get a little bit further down there, but it looks a bit slippery, but let me just hold on and try and make my way down a little bit lower. So bear with me, you know that I'm a bit of a daredevil. So let's get a bit closer to the action because I love the sound of the falls. Here we are. Wow. Actually, I've never been down here before to this sort of level, but what you can actually see is double falls. You can see the falls at the bottom, you can see the falls at the top, and if I change the angle a bit, you can see the falls further down. How beautiful is this? Anyway, I won't go any further around for fear of slipping down over the cliff. But you can hear what's happening and you can see what's happening. And dare I say, I'm right at the edge. I'm probably about a metre from a 400-metre ledge. So I'll stay where I am and I won't get any bolder because I want to get older. Alright, let me go a little bit further up to get a nice little angle, and as you can see the fog's rolled in again, so we can't see anything now, but at least you got a view of it before. It's amazing how the fog lifted for a couple of seconds, long enough for me to be able to get a viewing. Let me just climb up a little bit higher if I can. Opa, let me grab hold so I don't go arse over tit and end up in the news tonight for the wrong reasons. Anyway, as you can see, you can't see anything now. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? What I'd like to talk about is a topic that I've got near and dear to my heart. And I've worked as an accountant, as a corporate accountant for many years. And my last job that I had was in a big law firm where I worked as a commercial manager working with 150 partners, 150 top tier law firm partners. And my role was to help them improve the profitability of each of their practices. In other words, each of their businesses, so to speak. So what I learned was that senior lawyers are very, very set in their ways, and they need to be set in their ways in order to get things done. So I don't begrudge them. So they're very set in their ways and they want to continue to do the things the way they've always done them, year in, year out, without much change, change at all. So one of my challenges that I had to do was to work with them to identify areas of improvement. Areas of improvement. And of course they arc up when they hear the word improvement, because they say, well, what do you mean improvement? I'm doing a great job as it is. No, you're not. But you can't tell them that, because you need to hold on to your job. So they're very, very funny in that respect. But I remember my manager, who was a senior director in the law firm, giving me some advice. And he says, James, I'm telling you now, you're not going to get much change. You're not going to get these senior lawyers, these senior partners, these people who are earning over $1 million a year. You're not going to get them to change. But what you can do is you can help point out that if they make small, very, very small changes, not big changes, remember, not big changes, but if you can get them to do small changes and show them how that small change can magnify into a bigger outcome, then you may be able to get them to make those small changes. But forget about the big changes. So I remember reading in a management book, in a leadership book, the concept of the 1%, the 1% improvement or the 1% change, how over time, if you can improve in a very, very small incremental way, across a consistent timeline, then the outcomes, the results are absolutely magnified. And the same happens in all of our lives. So when it comes to dieting, when it comes to learning, when it comes to spiritual development, when it comes to growth and development as well, we've all learned that if we go to the gym and we give it 100% effort, after the first day we're stuffed and we just don't want to go back. Our legs hurt, our back hurts, our arms hurt, and we're off to a bad start because we understand that it's not sustainable. You can't go hard from the very, very beginning and expect it to be sustainable. So where's the lesson? What's the lesson here? The lesson to all the young people. Just like this fog here, we can't get rid of this fog. We can't get rid of all of that fog. But what we can do is we can move the camera a little bit closer and improve the focus, or we can get a little bit closer to the action and get to see things a little bit clearer. But that fog will move when it's decided to move. Now we can't influence that, we can't change it. But we can make small incremental changes to where we are. We can get a little bit closer and a little bit closer and get a little bit of a better vantage point to get a better view. And similarly with our dieting, with our exercise, with our spiritual growth, with our learning, with our relationships, with our friendships, with all of the things that we have in our lives, if we embark on a small but consistent incremental growth of 1%, say 1% at a time, very, very small, very, very small. Over time, we will achieve great outcomes. The same with investing. It's all about small incremental investment, time in the market. But we need to do something on a daily basis. We need to save on a daily basis. We need to read on a daily basis to improve our education. We need to make good food choices. And as one person once told me, your diet commences the minute you sit in front of some food. You've got to make some choices as to, you've got a plate in front of you. What are you going to eat in terms of what's on the plate and how much volume you're going to eat. You know, maybe you don't want to have all the rice or all the pasta or all the cake. You could have a little bit and maybe focus more on the protein, depending on what diet you're on. But at each decision point, at each engagement, we need to make a decision. And that small decision that we make, or that small change in that decision, will add up to a huge difference or a huge outcome in the future. The metaphor that is used by a lot of professional speakers and motivational speakers and leadership gurus is that of the stone cutter. The stone cutter, you can just picture him with a boulder, with a big boulder, and he's got a hammer in one hand and a chisel or a pick in the other hand, and he'll just hammer away, bang, 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 and he'll just hammer away time and time again. And you look at the rock and you see he's making no impact whatsoever. He's making no progress, or she's making no progress. Similarly, in our lives, everything we do doesn't appear to be making a difference. The walk that we go on in the evening, the extra bottle of water, or the water that we drink, or the reduced carbs that we take into our bodies, or that extra chapter in the book that we decide to read. You say to yourself, it's making no difference. It's making absolutely no difference. Just like the stone cutter. Bash, 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 bash. It's making no difference. But as they say, the ancient wisdom is that sooner or later, that boulder will crack in half, and you won't know, you will never know which strike made the difference. It could have been the third strike, it could have been the 400th or the 400,000th strike. But sooner or later, that boulder will crack and will separate, and you will have achieved your outcome. So give some thought to the 1%, the 1% improvement. And it's effortless. It doesn't take a lot of effort to make an incremental change, to make a 1% change in what you're doing. But when you're doing it across a corporation, when you're doing it across a nation, when you're doing it across a family, when you're doing it across a lifetime, it will make a huge difference. The fog's changed, lifted a little bit, and we get another bit of a view of that waterfall, which is called Fitzroy Falls. Anyway, I'll start heading back up to the track. But that's the message. That's the message for today about the 1% changes that we can implement into our daily schedule, which will have a huge impact further down the track. Anyway, I think that's enough for today from Fitzroy Falls. And once again, let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, thank you for joining me on this adventure, coming to Fitzroy Falls. And look, the fog's rolled in again. We can't see anything, but we can hear. We can hear those falls. We can hear it. We can visualize it in our mind's eye, but we can't see it now. But once again, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's pay some attention to the 1% and look at implementing small changes to our daily rituals, to our daily routines, to everything we do. Just to ask ourselves the simple question, what very, very small thing can I do today? Or what thing can I consistently do today that I did yesterday and continue doing today that'll have an impact down the track? Remembering the stone cutter. Hammer, 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 hammer. You don't know which door you're going to knock on and it's going to be the sale that gets you to your target. You don't know which person you engage with that's going to help you achieve your goals and your dreams. So just keep on going, keep on believing, live it with faith, and just continue. Believe in the process. Continue tackling, continue defending. If you're a footballer, continue training, continue doing all that you're doing. And it's those little things that everybody does that's going to determine who wins the grand final next week. Will it be Penrith? Will it be Melbourne? I feel it's going to be Melbourne. My money's on Melbourne because I think they've got more yeses and they're more disciplined. And with Cameron Smith and Bellamy as the coach, I think they're going to put up a good show. But time will tell. Let's see if they can do the 1% things as well as they can do and not provide any opportunity for their opposition. Anyway, Yassas, thank you very much once again. And tomorrow I'll come to you from another location. Don't know where I'll be, but it'll hopefully be interesting as what it was today. I'll be back here. Hopefully I'll be back here and do another 5 a.m. club and have it be here on a crystal clear day where you can see the double falls, you can hear them and see the blue sky above. But now it's all shrouded in fog and mist. But it's mystical. It's got its own beauty. I'll take it. I'll accept today as being a gift because I've never been here with a fog rolling through. But it is sexy. It is special. So I'll leave it there. Take care, Yassas, Sazagapao. I love you and wishing you all the very best from Jim's 5 a.m. Club. Take care from Fitzroy's Falls, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Yassas. Hey.